Hello and welcome to this special conversation where we discuss health insurance, but health insurance where women are changing the narrative and taking the lead. I'm Surabhi Upadhyay, and today I have two very interesting ladies with me. Pooja Dhingra, who's founder and CEO of Le15, and if you've had some of the great desserts at her place, and you would know exactly whom I'm talking about. And we also have with us Reema Sanghavi, co-founder of Pinkathon. Ladies, thank you very much for joining us on this conversation. So tell us a little more about your journey as an entrepreneur and how Pinkathon really came into being.
So in 2008, I started Maximus, and it was an event company. And, we thought that we must create a niche. Milind Soman was my partner, came up to me in about 2012. And he told me that, Reema, we must start a running event for women because the world is running and India is not. I thought it was a wonderful idea. And that moment in 2012, it was January, and we coined Pinkathon. Today we're 8 cities strong and 100,000 women running with us. I think today it truly is a movement and it's a pink wave that has taken over the country.
Pooja.
Wow, completely opposite.
Tell us a bit more.
So Le15 is a French-inspired pastry shop, which I started almost 10 years ago now. I was living in Paris. I was studying to be a pastry chef, ate my first macaroon, fell in love, and came back and started it. So it's been quite a journey trying to, enter this slightly male-dominated food industry, but fun. We have 5 stores and cafes now. We have an all-India delivery service. 3 books later, podcast. I have no 2 days are ever the same, so it's a lot of fun.
What is it that you guys have noticed in your interaction with your customers or your associates? So Pooja, what are people saying when they're coming to eat?
I mean, for sure, like you definitely see all the different trends. We make more keto cakes now than anything else,
Really?
so that
Wow.
is like the biggest trend. But actually, quite personally, 3 years ago, I decided to run the half marathon. And when I did that, I went off sugar for a couple of months to kind of, really focus on the training part of it. And I started experimenting with different sort of things that I could replace and where I could find natural sugar. And I created a hope because, in my mind, it's this healthy can't be tasty sort of, you have this sort of myth in your head. But actually kind of build a whole line of products that are healthy and tasty. And I think that that's what our customers actually want. So there is I definitely see a big rise in people who want to still eat sweet but want to eat different. And we're trying to cater to that as well.
Okay. And what are the changes that you've seen, Reema?
I think the most important part to realize from women is women inspire women. It's amazing. So like I just discussed with you, what was 2,500 women has become 100,000 women today. They've started realizing, and I hope they do realize as well, that they are the head of the family. And if they are fit, their entire family will remain fit. And they require that me time. And that's the change that we see today. That they are out there enjoying themselves, celebrating themselves. They believe that the change is them, and we preach that as well, that the change is you. And if you, and empowerment is not a gift of the society. It's a gift that you will give yourself. And that's the change that, we're seeing today.
That's fantastic. I mean, all the points that you mentioned, the awareness about what you're eating, whether you're keeping fit or not, is brilliant. Somewhere do you feel there is still a stumbling block? The moment you want to enhance the concept of wellness, including the time where you might fall sick, what happens then? That is that last point of connectivity where women have still not reached or don't want to or feel it's a man thing. Would you say that that still holds true?
You think about health and wellness in total. If you ask me what would it entail, I would talk about the food, I would talk about the exercise. I would very rarely go to the health insurance part of it or what happens if I get sick. Like to me, health and wellness would not cover that part of it.
The sickness part. Sickness is out of our realm of health.
But a lot of urban women are taking to health insurance, but there is not enough awareness about what a health insurance can do for them. I think that's important. Like, for example, a lot of critical illnesses can be covered. A lot of, so they don't know that cancer, they just feel that mujhe cancer nahi hoga, mujhe heart attack nahi hoga, mujhe cardiac arrest nahi ho sakta hai. And that's when they need to realize that these riders are available in their health insurance to be taken care of. Let alone first, of course, get the health insurance and then go to the critical illnesses. But these pegs of awareness are so very important because they don't realize that their expense of X number of lakhs can be reduced to just nothing if they manage to take a health insurance.
Okay, you guys are entrepreneurs. When you run successful businesses, And that also involves taking care of your own finances, taking charge of your own business from a money point of view. How's that transition been? Because at some point, I think that's the disconnect and that's the bridge that women find difficult to cross over.
And I think it was a very difficult bridge for me to cross as well, because I started my business when I was 23. And I think, you know, actually taking care of the finances and the business wasn't really, it was just about creating a product and doing things that I was passionate about and I loved. And then I had to, you know, over the years, really figure out how does finance play a part of it. And I wish, you know, if there's one thing I would go back and change was if I started with that kind of financial independence right at the start than getting it much later. So that's the one regret that I have, that I would hope to do sooner.
I think in my case, you know, my dad passed away very early. And the one thing that, you know, so we had to take responsibility very early in our life. So I think, and also throughout my life, I was an ace math student, and stocks and shares came very naturally to me. So finance really was a given. And, you know, we're also, when my father passed away, the one thing that we did not do is he didn't make my mother aware of the things that he had, including the kind of insurance that he had taken. And what is important here is that, you know, we educate our families on what we're doing. And at that point of time, so the first thing that I have gone back to doing in my company as well is get the finances right, because if your backbone is correct, that's the first thing you do. With my family, what I do is I get, the minute my child was born, the first thing that I did was health insurance and secured my entire family. And I think this is something that we need to preach. It's very, very, very important, absolutely.
So personally speaking, who takes charge of health insurance in your families, Pooja?
I do mine, but my family handles their own, yeah.
Okay, and what about you, Reema?
I do mine.
Okay.
I do mine and for my family.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. So I mean, I'm going to have to ask you for some tips. I mean, we have a fitness expert here and inspiration sitting right here. So if it comes to health, wellness, fitness, what's the one tip that you'd like to give people, especially because you're entering a brand new year?
I think the one thing that I keep saying is that you need to live to inspire. So whatever you do, small, big, you know, whatever you practice, go out there and talk about it. Talk about it, and the minute you do things, you will inspire others. But take that initiative to do things. I think that's most important, and live to inspire.
Okay, and Pooja, something that you would like to share?
For me, I think it's always to never stop learning. So whether it is learning about something new, whether it's finance related, health insurance related, or just learning how to balance eating and fitness. So I think, yeah. So eat and run.
Eat and run is the mantra. Okay, well, thank you for the conversations, and I think it would be an inspiration for a lot of people to go out there, take charge of your health, of their health, wellness, fitness, and planning for what happens in that eventual rainy day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Surabhi. Thank you.